Story time when me and my boyfriend had got into a fight because I went to his phone and called him cheating. TikTok, I am not promoting any violence. All I'm doing is telling the story. We was on the phone earlier that day, 11 o'clock, 11 in the morning. So he came in with the idea, oh, let's just order some food and you could come over here. We could just watch a movie, whatever, a cheap quote unquote movie date. So I was like, okay, what time do you want me to be there? What time do you want me to come? What time do you want me to start getting ready? So he told me, he was like, just come over after 4 p.m. because everybody's going to be out the house, so nobody's coming over and nobody's coming back home until Monday morning. Everybody left to go somewhere for the weekend. Everybody in his house left to go somewhere for the weekend. So I was like, okay, let me know if you need anything or if we're gonna need anything before I come to your house so that I know I gotta stop by the store. He told me all we need is like foam cups. So I said, okay. Fast forward, it's like 5:45. And I text him, let him know that I just left the store and I'm gonna be at your house in a minute. So make sure you outside and that door is open so I can just come in because my feet are hurting. So then I got to his house, we went to his room. We was looking for a movie to watch on Netflix, but I know how Netflix is. Netflix, sometimes they have good movies and sometimes they don't got good movies. So we just went on TikTok. We went to go search like some good movies on Netflix. We found one, turned it on or whatever. Movie started getting boring, so he bring out his phone and we both watching TikToks on his phone. Somebody ended up calling. Unknown number come calling him. It said no caller ID. Only time you're gonna get a no caller ID phone call is when you block somebody and they really want to talk to you. So whoever this is gotta really want to talk to you for them to, go that extra mile and do the only So I asked him like, who was that? Because he declined it OD fast. So I asked him, who was that? He was like, I don't know, they always be calling me. It's always some random numbers calling me. So I'm like, So we continue watching TikToks on his phone. And in a matter of like 10-15 minutes, whoever was calling him on no caller ID called him like 10 times now. So I'm like, all right, bro, it gotta be somebody. So I was like, all right, he think he's slick. So after he told me that he don't know who it is and it's just random numbers that be calling him, he went to the bathroom and he left his phone. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go through all of his block list. So I'm praying and hoping that he only got like a couple people on. He only got 2 people on it. So I'm like, all right, good. I unblocked both numbers and then I hear the toilet flush. But then as the toilet flushed, the number that was blocked that kept calling him called again. But the number popped up. So I took a picture of the number real quick on my phone, blocked her, and then texted her off of my phone. So he came back to the bathroom. He wasn't paying attention to what I was doing on my phone. He was watching TV. So I was texting her and I asked her. I was like, so I see this number calling so-and-so. Who is this? We gonna call her Jess. So she's like, oh, this is Jess. Me and him have been talking for like a month. So I'm just sitting there like, oh. So then she's like, yeah, who is this? I'm like, girl, this is his girlfriend. After I told her I was his girlfriend, she was mad apologetic. She wasn't one of them type of girls that cause issues. And she genuinely seemed like she did not know. So I was like, okay, at the end of the day, she don't owe me nothing. So if he wouldn't cheat with her, then even if she did know, she owes no type of loyalty to me. At the end of the day, he's the root of the issue. Whether she came up to him trying to talk to him knowing he had a girlfriend or not. So I started getting all my stuff together, about to leave. He like, oh, where you going? I'm like, I'm going home. Go call Jess. Jess looking for you. And you know how the whole thing go. He like, oh, who Jess? I don't know who Jess. I don't know no girl named Jess. I never talked to no girl named Jess. So I'm walking out the door and he pulled me back inside the door and slammed the door. Got me in the headlock so I can't move. So I pushed my head up on his chin so he could like accidentally bite his tongue. But I guess it hurt real bad. So he got me in my eye and on my lip.
I always see everybody telling their story times of how they caught their partner cheating. So let me tell y'all mine. So this motherfucker. So he was from Chicago, right? He finally came back from Chicago and came back to Georgia. This is the first week that we're together. So one day he comes home. It's late. He come home. He playing a game on his phone. He fall asleep. I look over like, not today. I chose my peace. But then the next day, he do it again. And he never leave his phone open. This never happened. So I was like, nah. And not to mention, I literally had a dream that he was cheating on me. I woke up and his phone was open. Come on now. So I went through that. He's cheating on me. Okay, he cheated. Whatever. We work it out. And I'm like, nah, something's still not right. Like, I don't know. I don't trust this man. But he was so sly. He a Scorpio like me. We sneaky. Like, Scorpios are sneaky. But he was so low-key. He was so undercover. There was no way for me to find. His phone was never open again. Like, there was no way for me to really, like, put the pieces together for real. Y'all, why? This is when Apple had the SIM cards. Why I take his SIM card out his phone, took the SIM card out mine, and put his SIM card in my phone. So I had his number now. Y'all, I use his number to get into his Instagram, his Snapchat. People was texting and calling. I found out everything. And yeah, that's how I found out. Through the motherfucking SIM card. I was like, there was no way, y'all. Like, he was so low-key, it was no way. I had no choice.
Hey guys, get ready with me while I tell you how I caught my ex-boyfriend cheating with my best friend. Okay, so this was like a few months ago, but I was hanging out with my best friend, and my boyfriend knew this, and he was like, oh, can I come hang out with y'all? And I was like, sure, because this is like a normal thing. Like, we've done this before. Well, we've hung out in like groups, not really like a trio. But I asked my best friend, I was like, oh, is that fine? Like, can you come over? And this is, like, I didn't really put it together, but she seemed a little bit too happy. But she was like, yeah, sure, like, you can come over, that's fine. My ex comes over, and we're like, what should we do? Let's just go in my basement and watch a movie or something. But before this, me and my best friend were playing pickleball, so I was, like, kind of sweaty. And if my ex was coming over, like, I would want to be clean. So I go and take a shower. I go in the shower, and before I go in, they're, like, sitting across from the couch. Like, they're not even close together or anything. So I'm like, I didn't think anything of it. And I'm probably in the shower for, like, 10 minutes. And then I realized I didn't have my conditioner because it was the basement shower. So I put my towel on me, and I go upstairs to get my normal conditioner. That's when I walk out. I see them on the couch together, blanket over them, and I see pants on the ground. So I'm literally wrapped in a towel, and I'm like, I'm going to give y'all 1 minute before I completely lose my shit. So I go back in the bathroom, put my clothes back on with my hair, like, literally soaking. I didn't even dry it off. And I go back in. They're, like, uncovered. And then my best friend tries to run up the stairs, and she's like, oh, I'm just going to leave y'all to it. Like, I'll just go. And then that's when I completely turn into a psychopath, because, I mean, who wouldn't? So she's running up the stairs, and I'm screaming at her, and I grab a book off the bookshelf and throw it at her. It doesn't hit her head, it hits, like, her shoulder, but she starts, like, crying, like I just attacked her. Well, I mean, I did. So this is when my boyfriend makes a run for it. He goes out, like, the back door of my basement, and so I leave my best friend. She's, like, crying on the stairs, and I run out the door with, like, chasing my boyfriend. And mind you, I didn't have the best taste in men, so he was literally a bum. He didn't have a car to drive. He didn't have a job. So he was trying to run home. Like, he only lives, like, 0.5 miles away. So he's trying to run, and I get in my car, and I just, like, full throttle. But when I reach him, obviously I slow down, but it still kind of, like, bumps him. So he goes, like, and under the car. But I didn't run him over. It was like a little love tap, you know? Well, obviously, no love. Full of hate. So he comes up from the car, and this is where I, like, was actually dying laughing, because he's like, I'm so sorry, like, I don't deserve you. Literally hit me again with your car, just run me over. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, please calm down. Like, why am I telling you to calm down? And I'm just like, go to your house, give me all my stuff, and I never want to see you again. And then he pulls the bullshit. I didn't even want her. Like, she threw herself on me. She was trying to blackmail me. Be so fucking for real. So a few weeks later, not to my surprise, they start dating. And she's now pregnant with this kid. Maybe his kid, honestly. I don't even know. But it's okay, because I'm getting ready to hang out with his homeboy. So moral of the story, never let your best friend and boyfriend hang out, or they will both stab you in the back. But if they do, then you just run him over with your car.
Story time about the time I walked in on him with another girl and literally took a video of it. This had happened freshman year. I'm a senior now, and I'm in a very healthy relationship now. So like I said, this was 3 years ago, and it was this guy's birthday. And for his birthday, he had a bunch of people from his high school right down the road come to his apartment and, like, pregame with us before we went to another party. Also, my best friend was in town, so she was visiting. And for his birthday, I had got him this chain. Keep this in your mind. So the night rolls around, and we're all at his apartment pregaming, and all of his, like, high school friends show up. First red flag is that literally nobody said hi. Keep in mind, these people are still in high school. Second red flag is when we were playing, like, beer pong, I literally had slipped and, like, fell on my back. And one of the girls was like, blah, 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 get your girl, talking about me. And He did not help me off the ground. 2 of his other friends helped me off the ground. And we were like laughing about it, but like, what do you mean, well, get your girl? Like, and he didn't even help me up. The third red flag is that when me and all my friends were like in the living room, him and all these like high school girls were in his room taking shots out of like our alcohol bottles. So we were like, no, absolutely not. And we put our alcohol bottles in the closet. Keep that in mind too. So the pregame's about over, and we walk like a neighborhood over to this like party that this guy was having. And there was like a ton of us, and we're all walking, and I noticed like him and this another girl just like talking like behind everybody. They're like way back, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna think anything of it because it's his high school friends. He probably hasn't seen them in a while, and why would I need to overthink? So we're in this party, and there's like a downstairs and an upstairs, and one of my friends was like, Megan, I just saw go upstairs with this girl, like, you want me to go check on them? Like, that was like 10 minutes ago. And I was like, sure, like, I don't care. And so she like went up there, and she came back down, and she was like, he had his arm around her. And I was like, you know what, like, I don't care. I really don't care. So the night was getting pretty late, and I remember he had like Snapchatted me or something. It was like, hey, like, we're all going back to my apartment, like, we're just like tired or whatever. And then time rolls around, and it's like actually time to like go, you know? So we walk back to his apartment, and it's like me and like 4 other of my girlfriends. And I remember he like wasn't answering my Snapchat, so I was like, I feel like we're like about to walk in on something. Like, I just have like a gut feeling something's not right. When we get back to his apartment, we open like his like main door to his apartment, and these girls just like start like giggling. They're like, and they're like, oh gosh. And I like turn my head, and in my head I'm like, oh gosh, what? Then like me and my 4 girlfriends like go over to his room door, and it's locked. So then my friend Tatum's whispering, and she's like, Megan, like, I'm gonna knock, pretend you're not here, like, don't say anything. So she knocks, and she's like, blah blah blah, like his name. She was like, I'm just here to get my alcohol, like, I'm going back to Megan's dorm. And he's like, 1 second. Now it's been like 2 minutes, and he still's not open the door. And she's like, open up, like banging on it and yelling at him. And he's like, hold on, and like opens it. And this is where I like blacked out, like barely remember what went down. We walk in, and Tatum opens the closet to get her alcohol off the top shelf. And what do we see? A little rat hiding in the closet. And my first instinct, I don't know, I have never walked in on something like that. My first instinct was to literally take a video. So I pulled my phone out of my back pocket, I opened Snapchat, and I took a video. I took a video of her hiding in the closet, and then I took a video of him like laying on his bed. And then I like ran out. And I ran into his roommate's room, and I was just like crying because I was like, what the heck did I just walk into? And I literally hear my best friend in the other room like screaming at him. And then in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, what about the chain? I just got him today. I was like, Tatum, please go get it from me. I'm like returning it. So she literally goes back in his room and is like, give me the chain. And he's like, what chain? And this like high school girl is still just like sitting in his room, and he's like, what chain? Like pretending I didn't get him a chain that morning. And she was like, the one on your neck. And he's like so freaked out and scared, he's shaking. He can't get it off. So he goes, Tatum, can you help me get it off? So then I run to my other guy friend's apartment where like everybody would hang out at. And I did not go back to my dorm because I had my best friend there, my brother was in town, my brother's friend was in town, and then my roommate, obviously, in a little dorm. So I was like, I'm just gonna sleep on my friend's couch and like go back to my dorm in the morning. And then I woke up on their couch the next morning to someone standing over me while I'm sleeping going, Megan, Megan. And I wake up and it's him, and I was like, what are you doing in here? And I was like, don't talk to me, don't talk to me. And he was like, this is what he says. Can I get you Andy's and we can talk it out? Sir, it is 9 in the morning. We're gonna go to Andy's and you're gonna talk about how I just walked in on you with another girl? No. So yeah, that is like the story of the time I walked in on him with another girl and took a video of it. And oh my gosh, he got like messed up on campus by all my friends. My friends would roll the windows down and like scream at him. And he'd be like talking to like other girls on campus or as like friends. And they'd be like, screw you! Like screaming at him through the window. Or like my whole sorority like posted on Yik Yak or something. I can't really remember. I have a bunch of screenshots, but yeah. So that's literally the time I took a video of it. Obviously, it doesn't faze me anymore because I'm in a new relationship at this point. It's hilarious, like so funny, and I had to share it because I want y'all to hear. Should I post the video? Bye.
Hey y'all, get ready with me while I tell you guys how I got caught cheating for the first time. This is not a funny matter, and I started doing my skincare and I realized, let me just record a story time while doing a get ready with me. Okay, so this is not funny at all. Like, cheating is, I don't support cheating at all, but I only did this because that person that I did it to was a dog and they deserved it. Okay, this is not, also by the way, not my current boyfriend. This is someone from like my past. This story takes place literally around this time last year. I feel like everyone's summer of 2023 was just so like, what the fuck. So the reason why I did this also, I'm not like trying to excuse why I did this, but I feel like there is like an valid excuse as to why I did this. And I didn't do anything crazy. I was just texting other boys. Like, this wasn't like, I wasn't linking people, I wasn't doing nothing with people, I was just texting other boys. So yeah, so I literally just did this because he was a cheater and he was doing way worse to me, and I got like fed up because karma wasn't working and I was really mad. So I was like, I need to be karma, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it myself. So basically, I was dealing with this person for like 2 months at the time when I got like caught, and basically like throughout those 2 months I was being loyal. Like, I was actually doing my job, I was being loyal, I was, you know, doing what I was supposed to do. And he wasn't. He was like, he went out kind of a lot, like to parties and stuff, and he wasn't doing his job. He was dogging me. Like, there was like a point where I stopped being loyal to him though, and it was like 2 weeks before I got caught up, because I just remember like it was like a really specific moment where I found him talking to like this other girl, and it was like this girl that kept popping up in our like relationship, and I was like getting sick of it. And it was like a really big like crazy moment, because and then it just made me be like, you know what, like he's still not respecting me, so I'm gonna give him his little karma. Anyways, so to the story. So basically I caught him up, and I was like sick at that point. I was like, no, like this is like done. Like, I remember I was crying at work when I found out this huge thing that he did. And I was like, yeah, no, like I'm done. Like I can't keep staying with this person. Like, but I was like, I can't leave him. Like I can't leave him. Like, I'm addicted. I can't leave. So I was like, I'm gonna just do what he's doing, but I'm gonna do it less. Mind you, where I'm from, I feel like everyone, not like everyone knows him, but like where I'm from, like I couldn't really text people like from where I'm from. I had to like reach and branch out to other states, because every boy that like I was trying to like text knew him, followed him, knew of him. So it was like to a point where I was like, bro, like every boy I was texting, he was like finding out. So I was like, no. Like when we would take like our breaks, because we were kind of like on and off, he would like find out about like what I was doing. So the only boy that I technically got caught up with and I was only texting was this boy named Ashley, which like his name wasn't actually Ashley, but we're gonna call him Ashley. So I was talking to Ashley, and basically we were only talking for like 2 weeks, and it wasn't anything serious. Like, so it's July 29th. Basically that day, me, him, his friend, and my friend were all in his car, and it was pouring, it was raining, like we were, you know, and basically that was like the plan to do. So then basically we were in the car on the way to like the spot, and he has Apple CarPlay. You could already tell where the turn is taking. So he has Apple CarPlay, and I was like listening to Instigated by Lil Durk. So I was like, can I play that song? He's like, yeah. So I plug in my phone and I start to play that song, and it just went downhill from there. So he started like switching the songs and stuff, and I was switching it back, and then I don't know what clicked, but he was like, oh, let's check your messages. So he pressed the messages. Like, this all happened so fast. So he pressed the messages, and I unplugged my phone.
But since it's like a car screen and shit be lagging and I was slow, he saw Ashley's name at the top. So my dumbass is like, oh my gosh. So he puts like the music all the way up, and like at this point, like, we're not speaking. So I'm like looking at my friend and I'm like, what do I do? Because I'm in the backseat with her. I'm like, what do I do? And she's like, delete stuff off your phone. So I start deleting everything off my phone, which was like, I shouldn't have done that because like whatever. But I was also doing that because every time I call him up, first of all, to this day, he will never admit that he dogged me like that. Like he'll never admit that he cheated on me, but I know he did. He knows he did. Everybody knows he did. Like, when someone tells you that your man's a hoe, listen to them, because they are not a liar. Like, they are a hoe. Whenever I would catch him up, he would delete everything. Like, he wouldn't even like let me look through his phone. Like, he would let me look through his phone. Like, after we finished arguing and stuff, he would go, and then he'll be like, call me like 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes later and be like, oh, do you want to look at my phone? And my dumb ass would be like, yeah, I do. And then I would look at it and there would be nothing there. But you know what you saw. You know what you saw. And like, it would convince me that I was crazy. I was envisioning things, but like, I wasn't. I saw it. Anyway, so I deleted everything because I'm like, he doesn't, in my head, I was like, I'm like having a seizure. How I was thinking was like, he doesn't have the decency to show me his phone, so I'm not gonna have the decency to leave everything there and show him my phone. And that's what I did. I deleted everything and I kept lying. So then we're parked now, and at this point, like, and the tension is really high. Like, he's very mad, but I'm like still trying to act like a little bimbo, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So then I tell my friend and his friend to leave the car, and he's like, no, like, you're not leaving the car, like, they can't leave the car. Like, this boy looked like he wanted to beat my ass. Like, he was so mad, and I feel like he was just mad because like I did it and he didn't expect me to do it. So yeah. So they left the car and it was just me and him in the car, and it was so awkward. Like, I was literally sitting there in silence. And at one point, he left the car and was outside because where we were parked, his friend / cousin lived there. So they went, like, over there. And it was just me in the car. And then my friend was in the other car by herself. So I started calling people. I started calling all my best friends. And I was like, what do I do? I just got caught up. Like, what do I do? And they were all telling me, like, just to admit the truth and tell him, like, why you did it. And, like, why you feel like he deserves it. And that he didn't have the decency to tell you what he did wrong. So you did it back. And then my other friend, my best friend, was like, don't admit shit. He didn't admit shit to you, so you don't admit shit to him, and you just keep lying. So that's what I did. I just kept lying. I kept saying he was my friend. I was like, he was my friend. I just go to him to talk about stuff, blah, 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 blah. And obviously, if you're in a healthy relationship and someone cheats on you and you find out and she's saying or he's saying that they go to this person to talk about stuff, you're going to be like, why can't you talk to me about that? Like, you're my man. I mean, you're my girlfriend, you're my boyfriend, like, you can't talk to me about that. And like, rightfully so, if he didn't do what he did, he had a reason to feel that way, and that's what he said he felt. But like, because he did what he did, I didn't feel bad, and I'm like, you can't feel that way. Like, you cannot feel that way. So eventually, like, we were just still like going back and forth, but I was like in the clouds. So I was like still like just like trying to process everything in the moment, and I'm like, I cannot believe I got caught. And then I started singing sad songs by Lil Durk to him, which was like not like my finest moment. I just remember I was singing that to him because I was like, I did not know what to do. It was like a moment of silence. We weren't talking to each other. He was on his phone. He was mad, and I was just singing Lil Durk. And then I remember he recorded me and was like calling me a cheater and stuff, and he posted that on his Snap.
So I'm gonna be doing a story time about how I caught my ex cheating, because I know we've been waiting for this story time, and I've been constantly like asked about it, and so here it is. Like, how excited are we, guys? Because I'm excited. And while I do this, I'm just gonna like be touching up my makeup because I can't just like sit here and talk because I'm literally socially awkward. So anyways, me and my ex used to live in Austin, Texas together because we were just so dedicated to our relationship that we decided to move in with each other way too early. Don't do that. Advice from me, don't do that. Like, just don't move out of state with your boyfriend. That's horrible. Don't do that. And so anyways, his friend's birthday was coming up, and he didn't have the money for the flight, so of course I freaking paid for it for him, and I paid for a lot of things for him. And so he was like, babe, I want to go to my friend's birthday party, but I don't have the money. Can you give me the money? And I was like, I love you. Of course I can. Don't do that either. Anyways, and so he goes on his flight. He's with, you know, he's gonna go see his boys, because you can't forget about the boys. So he flies over there, and, you know, he's like doing his thing, and he tells me, he's like, hey babe, I'm gonna go to like Hermosa, to like a bar or something. He's like, it's gonna be super chill, like, you know, no one's gonna be there, it's just gonna be me and fucking what's his name. And so of course I'm like, yes babe, like that's totally fine. And you know, I was going to bed because it was nighttime, so I was like, I'm gonna go to bed, but you have so much fun. I was way too trusting for this person. So he finds a girl, and let me tell you a little bit about this girl. I knew this girl's brother. Like, I literally, I know him. I'm just like, damn, out of all the girls you could have picked, you picked the one that I actually have a somewhat connection to. You know, never said he was smart. And so anyways, he goes, you know, they're both drunk, and they're kind of hooking up with each other, and, you know, it is what it is. Of course, I don't know. You know, as I'm sleeping peacefully in Austin, Texas, he's over here mingling, living his best bachelor life ever. And so anyways, and then after that day, when he goes to drive up to San Diego, because that's where they're having the birthday party or whatever, he goes and he's like hitting her up constantly, and he's like, oh my goodness, like, come to San Diego with us, like, if you want a good time. That's like literally what he said. I have the text messages, I'll show that at the end. Anyways, and so he's like, if you want like a good time or something, he said like something along that, and she's like, no, like, you know, and like not even responding to him. She's just being like hella dry. And I'm just like, oh, that's so embarrassing for you. Like, dude, you're literally trying so hard and you're like not getting attention. Like, ew. So anyways, that's what happened though. So let me tell you how I found out. So I moved out. We had like a whole argument, so I moved out. I left. Peace out, homie. And so I was already preparing myself to leave. And so I moved back into my mom's house back in California, and we were kind of doing like long distance or whatever. And so I'm on FaceTime with him, and I'm like, you know, doing a little long distance, cutesy little relationship. And I'm like, let me go through my like requested DMs, because, you know, why not? Haven't been in there in a while. Bro, the first message that was there was, hey girly, like, I hooked up with Ryan at this time. I'm not sure if you guys were still dating. I was with him through this date to this date, you know, da-da-da-da. And at first I was like, I'm not reading this. This is not happening. Like, this is not me. I'm literally a catch. I don't get cheated on. And so I'm reading this, and I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And so, and I'm on the phone with him. And so I'm like, hey, do you know who so-and-so is? And he's like, no. Okay. Well, she says she knows you. And he's like, I don't know who that is. Like, I really don't know. And so I'm like, okay, well, she says she knows you, and that, you know, you guys were hooking up with each other. And he's like, what? They're just trying to break us apart. They're just da-da-da-da-da. There's girls that are jealous of you out here. And he was like trying to say that. And I was like, okay, I don't think so. And then he was like saying how he doesn't know who she is, whatever. And then I was like, okay, well, she's saying this. And then he's like, well, she might have been there. Like, I might have saw her there. And I was like, okay. And then he was like, well, she might be in the friend. She might have been in the friend group. And I'm like, how does it go to, no, I don't know her, I don't know who she is, to, oh yeah, she was in the group. And I thought there was no girls in the group. I guess she wasn't necessarily in the group. They like met her at the bar, but like still. And so anyways, and he was like, I would have never made out with her, because I was like telling him, I was like, well, you know, she said that you made out with her. And he was like, I would never make out with her, da-da-da-da. And I'm kind of like, all right, well, she's pretty, so like, and anyway, and then I was like, okay, well, she has a video, and she said she's gonna send it to me, so we're gonna see. We're gonna find out. This man went to super calm to freaking ballistic. Like, he lost his marbles. His marbles left the chat. Like, they were not here anymore. He was like, I'm so sorry. No. I can't believe this. Like, I made such a bad mistake. I was drunk. I was this. I was that. Like, she took advantage of me. Like, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, first off, you were, like, into it in the video. Like, you were really you were into it more than she was into it. So, her taking advantage, I don't really think so. Anyways, and that's how I found out. And he went crazy, and he wouldn't stop bothering me for, like, literally, like, fucking 3 months straight. And so, here are the freaking screenshots. Sadly, I'm not going to show the video, though, because I'm not trying to expose the girl. Like, what? Like, what? That's crazy. So that's the story.
Get ready with me while I tell you the story of how I caught my boyfriend cheating on me. It all started when we went on a trip to Tulum. I started feeling really sick, so I took a pregnancy test and realized that I was pregnant. And when I went up to the pool to tell him, he was there with another girl. Side note, I love this stuff. It's snail mucin. I've linked it, and you can also get it in my Amazon storefront. So I caught him with this other girl in the pool. They weren't doing anything, but that's the first sign for me of how things started to get really weird. We decided that we were going to do our own thing on the trip because I was mad that he was talking to other girls behind my back, and he was saying that I'm crazy and overreacting. So I started doing my own thing in Tulum, meeting new people, going to new restaurants and clubs, and when you have any type of influence online, they'll actually give you free dinners, free bottles at clubs, and even free hookah at different lounges. So I decide to go see my family for Thanksgiving in Florida, and I leave my bags in Tulum with him. Now, I guess I did that because I did want the relationship to work. He was the hottest guy I ever dated, but also like the most fun and like most confident and like motivating person. I lost like 40 pounds because he would train me every day. I was still pregnant and he did not want to keep it because he already had 3 kids. That should have been my first red flag right there. So I'm celebrating Thanksgiving with my family. He was answering the phone, and then all of a sudden I really like stopped hearing from him. And that is when I just knew that he was with someone else. So I went back, I got my stuff, and he was not there. I then walked outside to get tacos, and because I didn't have a car in Tulum, it's kind of scary to drive. You might get pulled over and cops might take you just because you're American. I see him in a taxi and he literally just passes me by, literally looks at me and just keeps going. So I go to the corner store and get myself the meds to get rid of the baby. Now, while I'm sitting there in the Airbnb bleeding out by myself, I start going through his Instagram followers. Lo and behold, I find a really cute girl who looks just like me, and her story is her in a hotel and her getting flowers and her at dinner. I don't say anything. I actually told him, hey, I'm going to the airport. He's like, I want to go with you. And I was like, okay. I was like, come get your stuff. I'm not going to carry all these bags by myself. And he never came. So I ended up having to take 2 suitcases from Tulum to the Cancun airport. He shows up a hot mess. He still has sand all over him. He looks absolutely crazy. And that's when I see the text come in, Jessica. And that was the girl that I saw with the flowers and the hotel on her Instagram story. Again, I don't say anything. I'm literally having to get on a plane with this person and then have to drive my car from the Tijuana airport back to Los Angeles. So yeah, I still wasn't gonna say anything. At this point, we are not talking. And like, I know, he knows, we just gotta get back to LA. And that's when I waited till he went to the gym because we were living together, but it was my place. Ladies, always have a backup plan or always have your own place. But I waited for him to go to the gym and then put all his stuff in the lobby. And I texted him, hey, all your stuff is in the lobby. And then I blocked his number. He started calling me, texting me on Instagram. And I just did not answer. You're not about to give me diseases and treat me bad and go missing while I'm pregnant. That's not cool. Luckily, I never caught anything, but, you know, I just think about things like that, about safety, about health. And that's what's really important to me. And because of that, I was a virgin till I was 19 years old because I'm so weary of things like that. So I want to say this. You can be the most beautiful, most loyal, smartest, educated, ride or die chick and still get cheated on. And honestly, that has nothing to do with you as a woman. You could be the best woman that there is, but men are just insecure, and that's not your fault. So if this ever happened to you, you know, it's okay. It's happened to all of us. And
If someone said it didn't happen to them, they probably just didn't find out. If you made it this far, I love you. This is Nutmeg.